Welcome to the BEASTwriter Family, where social media engagement is encouraged. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and tonight, or today, wherever your location you're at, we're going to be discussing right tackle Mike McGlinchey possibly going to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this is something that we have been talking about dating back since yesterday, where news broke out that Mike McGlinchey might be going to the Indianapolis Colts, obviously. And the question is why? Well, the Indianapolis Colts obviously need a blindside left tackle. However, the way I see it is this. They already have Ryan Kelly there from Alabama. They already have the best interior guard in Quentin Nelson. His best friend is right tackle Mike McGlinchey. He probably talked to Chris Ballard and say, "Hey, look, can we get a guy? We need a blindside left tackle. Could he play left tackle? Could we be reunited in Notre Dame? Possibly, right?" And when you look at this tackle draft class, I'm telling you, it's not as strong as people say it is. It's not. And when you're sitting there at number 21 and you're the Indianapolis Colts and you're realistically looking at what's on the board and you say, okay, well, we are going to look at a guy like Samuel Cosme out of Texas, Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. Who would I rather want if I was to give up and yield a first round pick potentially for Mike McGlinchey? And people say, oh, well, Mike McGlinchey's not worth a first round pick. Are you sure about this? Because again, look at the tackle draft class and look what's out there in free agency. If you can't pull from free agency, you're going to have to go into the draft and dip into the draft. Well, what if you can get a top 10 player who, as a coach, you can say, hey, he's not playing at a top 10 level, but I can coach him up to where we can kind of revive his career in Indianapolis? Could happen. It could happen. And although the team has Braden Smith, the 2018 second round pick, he's playing in the last year of his contract because, again, he's not a first round pick, so you don't get the fifth year option as you would with Quentin Nelson or Mike McGlinchey, who came out of the same draft class. So ideally, I think Chris Ballard will ultimately play him on the left side. But again, don't be surprised because, again, Braden Smith's playing in the last year of his contract. He's a really good right tackle. You can get trade value for him. If there's a team who just released, like the Kansas City Chiefs, who just released both offensive tackles because they need financial salary cap relief, what if they went ahead and traded their first round pick, got right tackle Mike McGlinchey, and then doubled down on those gains by stealing left tackle Trent Williams? Now they have two bookend tackles. They can then move on from Braden Smith, who, in my opinion, if you were to compare the two players, I think Mike McGlinchey has better critical factors. Correct me if I'm wrong. Braden Smith is the better player right now, but in this new system that Mike McGlinchey would be going into, I would be quick to argue that Mike McGlinchey would be the better player. Now, we just have to see how that plays out. All this is projection, but that's just how I see it playing out. Take that a step further. People are saying, oh, well, Braden Smith has only gave up one sack and 0 pressure, according to who? PFF? Okay, bro, how's that going for you? You guys all know how I feel about PFF. Stop with that grading system. Just stop right there. You lost your argument right there. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on and talk about exactly what's going on here as this trade is potentially being discussed, right? So ideally, GM Chris Ballard, in my opinion, would be talking to Quentin Nelson and say, hey, look, can this guy play the blind side? Because obviously Anthony Costanza retiring. We have a need there. We're obviously going to pick an offensive tackle and do a lot of legwork here. Alex Leatherwood might be available. Samuel Cosme, maybe Christian Darrisaw. So Elijah Vera Tucker should we trade up and possibly go after him. I mean, there's a lot of offensive linemen, but what do you think about Mike McGlinchey? Quentin Nelson's his best friend. Like I said in an earlier live stream, he's going to be like, dude, I like Mike McGlinchey. He's the leader of this offensive line if he comes here. Because that's what he said when he was at Notre Dame. He also called him his best friend. So, if he's your best friend and you believe he can be the leader of the offensive line, why not bring in a guy like Mike McGlinchey? Ultimately, people would say that a first round pick would not be out of the question, or would be out of the question. Well, I'd be quick to argue that because again, look at what the Colts are picking at 21. Slim pickings. If they're going after a tackle, who would you rather have? Samuel Cosme, Alex Leatherwood, or right tackle Mike McGlinchey, who is good in the run game, but needs some pass pro protection technique help? And if you're an NFL coach, you think you can coach up that player because obviously you thought highly of enough going back to his pro day in 2018 when it was Quentin Nelson and Mike McGlinchey. Who was there? Chris Ballard, up close and center. Why? Because he loved both players. Duh. So it goes without saying, ideally, this is how I see it playing out. I think GM Chris Ballard would ultimately strike a deal with the San Francisco 49ers where the Niners would want a first round pick. Like, hey, if we're giving up a first round pick, I don't want the media riding us. We need something in return, at least a first round pick. If not the first round pick, give us your second round pick. It could be a first or a second, but either way, they would get draft capital in return. Let's say it's a second round pick. Now you have draft flexibility, right? You can maneuver the draft how you see fit. Now, if you want to package the deal and go up and get a quarterback, that could be in play. We still don't know what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo, so that's also in play. They can also trade down, pick up more draft capital. So now you're looking at retooling and rebuilding through the NFL draft as opposed to diving into free agency. There's a lot of different options here for the San Francisco 49ers. So it's just going to be interesting how this all plays out. Now, again, I like the Colts offensive line. I think they have one of the best offensive lines in all of football. I would argue that the Cleveland Browns is a little bit better. They have Joe Bitonio. They have Jack Conklin. You know, we all know the pieces they have there. But I like Alabama. I like the Colts offensive line. They have Alabama, Sarah Ryan Kelly there, right? First round pick. I think he was drafted number 18 overall or something like that. And then you also have Braden Smith that was drafted in the second round in 2018. You also have Quentin Nelson, 2018 first round pick out of Notre Dame. We all know what's going on there. I graded him as the best interior guard in all the NFL. And you bring in a guy like right tackle Mike McGlinchey, then you can possibly trade Braden Smith because then you just just went after left tackle Trent Williams. And Braden Smith's in the last year of his contract because, again, he's not a first-round pick, so he doesn't get that fifth-year option. You can't resign everyone because, again, the Colts will be in the same position that the Niners in because they have to resign who? Darius Leonard from what draft class? The 2018 draft class. I mean, you have Quentin Nelson now, Mike McGlinchey, and Darius Leonard from that 2018 draft class. You can't resign them all. And Braden Smith. Someone has to go. And if you're bringing in a guy like Mike McGlinchey, are they realistically going to sign 3 2018 draft picks to long-term deals? That's a lot. That's a lot to ask. And they're in a win-now mode. Why not go after a guy like Trent Williams? Said it on earlier podcasts. It makes perfect financial sense. All right. So it'll be interesting. I took a poll on this on my community page. If you follow me on YouTube, I'm just going to release that poll because I said I would. And so this is what I said on my poll on the community page on YouTube. I said, news is floating around that the Indianapolis Colts GM Chris Ballard is in the Mike McGlinchey market. If that's true, ultimately, what is the realistic asking price in return for the San Francisco 49er player? First round pick, number 21, or their second round pick. 64% of you guys chimed in and said, first round pick. First round pick. I agree. Now, that's crazy talk. People can be, oh, no, that's crazy. That's way too high value. No one would give up a fourth. If you read my comments on the earlier podcast that I put up, people are saying, oh, no, that's not true. No way that the Colts would do that. Okay. Honestly, I think they would do that. And again, I just point out the analytics why. Again, look at the mock draft. If you run mock drafts, if you do your own mock draft, you would know. Hey, what's going to be there at number 21 at a position of need where I know that I can get value at, especially if I'm looking at a tackle. Because if they're in a win now mode, they're going to need a blindside left tackle. Now, whether that's Trent Williams, whether that's pulling in a guy like Eric Fisher, that remains to be seen. And again, you can't re-sign everyone because that 2018 draft class is strong. You have Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, and Darius Leonard. That's 3 2018 draft picks that need to be extended. Fred Warner comes from the same draft class. So, 3 versus, I'm running the analytics on it. So, wouldn't the Colts better be served? I know it's a long shot. Well, not really. They're in talks for right tackle Mike McGlinchey. Do they believe he can actually play the blind side? That's another question. Because if Chris Ballard has enough faith that in his coaching staff to say, hey, look, he struggled on the right side. Do you actually think he can play the blind side and protect Carson Wentz, our new shiny franchise quarterback? Well, I don't know, man. He didn't do so good on the strong side of the formation. What about the weak side, the blind side? Are you serious? Or they can be like, you know what? I believe in right tackle Mike. I think we can revive his career. I think we're going to get a steal because if you look, he has better technique than Samuel Cosme. He has much better feet than Alex Leatherwood. Doesn't take false steps, breaking out of his stance. The thing that I have to work with is his core strength. Like I pointed out in the earlier podcast, the live stream that I talked about, I would do some power clean, some squats, a lot of heavy lifting, maybe some bench press, all the powerlifting moves that you would need to build up that core strength. I think we have something to work with here. Building up that leg drive. Because you've seen the leg drive in the run game. I mean, the guy's good. The guy is good in the run game. But in the pass game, oh my gosh. It's like every other play, he gives up a quarterback hit or a quarterback hurry. And that's not based on PFF grades. That's based on my own grades. Just saying. All right. So without further ado, what do you guys think? Please chime in your comments. I'm going to go ahead and put them up on the screen. And Robert says, "Sup, Beast? You seem highly caffeinated today." You know what? I did have coffee today. I did not hit my pre-workout. I know some of you are asking for my workout videos. I was supposed to post out for workout Wednesdays. I didn't do it. I apologize. I will post up a workout later today. I'm going to be hitting the gym. This will be a short live stream simply because some of you guys follow me for fitness. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would know it's all Fitspiration stuff. Yes, you guys know I model and do the whole Bear Rooted stuff and then also do the Evogen stuff and also see me on some fitness pages. But for Fitspiration. But anyways, getting back to the podcast. Yeah, I'm going to be posting up some workout videos. That's how I do. And I feel like it's a good way for us to engage and grow, just not for football related stuff. I mean, here we are during COVID, right? And I'm like, okay, so how can I get my workout in? The gyms are closed. I still need to get my gains in. I need to keep my size up. You can only do so much eating, which by the way, I eat 7 meals a day. Yes, 7 meals a day. And I drink 1.5 gallons of water. That's what it takes to get a certain look. Believe it or not, I piss like a racehorse. I mean, just saying. I mean, when you drink 70 gallons of water, that's what's going to happen. Not 70 gallons of water. 1.5 gallons of water. 70 gallons of water, I'd be dead. 1.5 gallons of water, that's what happens. That's what it does to you. You're on diuretics. Asparagus is a diuretic. Coffee is a diuretic. So you're just pissing like a racehorse, like every 30 seconds. If you compete, you know what I'm talking about. All right. But no, I didn't take my pre-workout yet. I wish I did. That would have been fun. Actually, no, it's not. It's not fun. All right. Thank you for tuning in from Facebook. He says, Isaiah Gomez, I'm anxious to see last season's injured stars coming back, making an impact. Yes, me too. Me too. All right. Let's go ahead and take your questions. If you have any, go ahead and shoot them my way. Robert from Facebook. Robert, do yourself a favor. Get a YouTube account because if you don't, you won't be entered to win our Family Friday giveaway, which, by the way, I am releasing the winner later today. So check in and tune in to see who that winner is. I already picked that random winner earlier. And here's this backpack. Again, complete with the NFL licensing logo. So all you guys have to do is subscribe to my channel and you'll be entered for our milestone giveaways once we hit those milestones, obviously. And it's a really fun thing that we got going on here. All right. So Robert says, looks like Mike McGlinchey is someone you keep unless you get better value. At the end of the day, if you get value, do it. Yes. What if you get a first round pick? What if you get the 21st pick overall? So now you have the 12th pick and the 21st pick, and you're the San Francisco 49ers. Do you make this deal? Yes or no? I would like to hear you guys' answers on that. Gavin Upright Cartwright, thank you for tuning in for the second live stream in a row. I see you, bro. How often do punters get put in the Hall of Fame, and do you think Pat McAfee will make it? I don't know, man. Ray Guy made it, didn't he? There's a few others, but not very many. I don't know the number on that. I have to do some research. I am going to do that after this live stream. All right. Daniel Yavarta from Facebook. Get a YouTube account, bro. I'm joking. Not joking, but joking. If we give up McGlinchey, thank you for tuning in. If we give up McGlinchey, who do we get to replace him at tackle? See, that's a $1 million question, man. Right? Because that's what I talked about in my earlier live stream and on the earlier podcast that I put up is, okay, where do you put right tackle Mike McGlinchey? Because is he simply a right tackle, or do you believe he can play the blind side? if he was to go to Indianapolis, I think Chris Ballard would try him out on the blind side. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, I'm thinking like Chris Ballard because they already have Braden Smith there, who is decent. I mean, people will say, "Oh, he's like the next, he's top 5 right tackle." Eh, I mean, I would say top 10. I wouldn't say top 5. Furthermore, he's playing in the last year of his contract. So if they were to bring him on, and let's say they got Trent Williams, well, Trent Williams definitely playing the blind side, and McGlinchey would be playing the strong side. And then you can trade Braden Smith, who's in the last year of his contract, and then probably get draft capital in return. I don't know. I'm just saying, because again, this tackle class is weak. So if you want to leverage tackle premium position, this is how you do it. If you're Chris Ballard, like, oh man, I really don't want to do this. I mean, Braden Smith is awesome, but if we sign left tackle Trent Williams, and then we go ahead and make a play for right tackle Mike McGlinchey because Quentin Nelson really wants this guy, we can possibly get something for Braden Smith, a lot more than what we otherwise could have gotten other years in the draft, because of, again, the draft class is weak when it comes to the offensive tackle. I'm telling you, people who say it's deep, I mean, deep compared to what? Not last year. I don't know. I'm just whatever. But what do you guys? What is your take on that? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Michael Miller, we need to dump Armstead to a team that will pick up his dead cap and free us, even if it's for a 7th round pick. Oh my goodness. Michael Miller tuning in, turning up the beast analysis when it comes to Eric Armstead. Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think Eric Armstead's staying in San Francisco. I don't know. Hey, he's going to have a good year. He's Dennis Stubblefield 2.0, and with Nick Bosa back, he's going to shine. He's going to put up 10, 12 sacks. Don't worry. He'll be back because Bosa is back. All right, Gavin Upright Cartwright, how many games do you predict D Fraud will play? What is up with the hate today, guys? My goodness. I don't know. I feel for D Ford. I know you guys are all upset, because he's injured. It's not like he did it on purpose. It's not like he tried to injure himself on. I mean, it's a tough situation that D Ford's in, though. But it is. I can see your guys' frustration because I'd be concerned too. Like, bro, we paid you all this money. You can't even stay on the field. What's going on with you, bro? I get it. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to see how that one plays out. All right. Jason Sims from Facebook. Could this year have been off because of the center and right guard positions? I feel he's been solid in previous years. Great point. Thank you, Jason Sims from Facebook. Make sure you get a YouTube account and subscribe to my channel, and you can do it in the, I'm going to put up the banner. Why don't I have that banner up there? Right here. Just open a new web browser, and you can subscribe, and you'll be entered for our giveaways that I just showed you just moments ago. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, there's a link in my bio to my YouTube account. Go ahead and subscribe there. But getting to your question, very well could be the answer. Why? Because anytime you have a better supporting cast around you, you're going to look better by default. It's plain and simple as that. If you're surrounded by all pro talent, of course you're going to look better because you're surrounded by all pro talent. So that could have played a role, but I'm not using that as an excuse or as a reason for why Mike McGlinchey is not getting it done. He was drafted number 9 overall to be the guy to get it done regardless of the supporting cast. I mean, if you date back, going back to 2010, I believe it was the draft 2010, where they picked up Mike Iupati and Anthony Davis in back-to-back plays on the offensive line. You obviously got Mike Iupati at pick number 17. And then I believe they moved up with the Denver Broncos from 13 to 11 to get Anthony Davis. So now you get your right tackle and your interior offensive lineman. Those guys still shined on the depleted offensive line. And that offensive line was horrible. I mean, you were talking about guys like, geez, in 2010, who was there? I can't even remember. That's how bad it was. Adam Snyder, was he on the team in 2000? I mean, it wasn't the best. It was not the best. That's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, I could play a role, but I'm not using that as an excuse for why he's struggling. I think as a first-round pick, top 10 pick, you need to get it done regardless. All right. Bunk from YouTube. If you don't follow my boy Bunk, he provides great spot-on analysis. He says John already has to worry about filling the left tackle and center position. Wouldn't now filling the right tackle position already on top of the second quarterback spots be overkill? It would be overkill. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if you can get a first-round pick out of it, if you need a quarterback, if you want to go and try to reach for that quarterback inside the top 5, you have 2 first-round picks, just like the Jets, just like the Dolphins. Could happen. Or you say, hey, look, we need a quarterback. We're going to take Mac Jones at 12. At 21, we're going to take J.C. Horn. That fills what? 2 of your 4 needs that you just said right there, right off the bat in just 1 round. Mac Jones, J.C. Horn. Boom. Now, it comes down to the offensive tackle position because you can't move on from right tackle Mike McGlinchey without having a plan B option. You can't just be like, hey, let's move on to right tackle Mike McGlinchey because, yeah, we'll get a first-round pick in return. You have to be like, okay, well, who's going to play right tackle then? Okay, well, we don't have freaking Trent Williams, so who's going to play left tackle? Okay, who's going to be our quarterback? And is he mobile enough to evade pressure because he's going to be sacked every other snap because we'd have no offensive tackles? Like, of course, there's moving parts, but at the end of the day, it's something that could happen. All right. Robert says, Beast, I have one. I have to use this when I'm working. Oh, no, all good, dude. All good. You know what? There's a lot of people that are tuning in and at work right now. I guess you guys are on conference calls or in conferences as we speak. And typically, if this was a normal podcast, you would just plug in the earphones and pretend that you're working. Yeah, I get it. But thank you for this is very clever. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury, but I like this way better anyways, actually. I like the face-to-face engagement that way. It's more personable. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Jason Ellsworth says, yes, I would trade him for a first-round pick. Yeah, right? Wouldn't you trade Mike McGlinchey for a first-round pick? Now, it's a late-round pick. So, ideally, we have to look at what all 32 NFL teams are actually going to do, right? Luckily for me, I have my mock draft. I've been doing this since I was a kid, right? So, you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, they're going to go Trevor Lawrence at 1. That's a no-brainer. Like, cool story, bro. The draft starts at number 2. The kicker is, what are they going to do with Sam Darnold? What is Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas going to do at number 2? That's the $1 million question. That's going to set the board for all the teams to follow because, again, are they going to make a play for Deshaun Watson? Is he going to waive his no trade clause? Is Sam Darnold going to be the answer? And if he is, we just drafted Mekhi Becton last year, so obviously we're not going to go after a guy like Penei Sewell to play the right side, so what's going to happen there? Are we going to go wide receiver? Are we going to take Devontae Smith, who I believe is the next Marvin Harrison? Are we going to go draft Jamar Chase, who I believe is the next Reggie Wayne? There's a lot of moving parts there because we need a wide receiver because why? All we have is Jamison Crowder. Sam Darnold had nothing to work with, but at the end of the day, the offensive line is horrible. So do they trade back? Do they try to pick up draft capital? Do they give up the number 2 overall pick simply if they want to roll with Sam Darnold or whoever the quarterback is? Let's say they keep Sam Darnold, a team that wants to move up to 2, like the San Francisco 49ers for Zach Wilson. Now they have 2 first-round picks. They're sitting at 12 and 21. That could be a position that they could be in, man. I'm just saying. And then Miami Dolphins are sitting there at 3. They're going to take a wide receiver. Currently, I have them taking Devontae Smith, teaming him back up with Tua Tagovailoa. And then at 18, doubling down on that with Najee Harris. There's not too many holes. And if you watch my earlier podcast on Fred Warner potentially being traded to the Miami Dolphins, you would know why. There's not too many holes. What do they need? A linebacker. Who do they release? Kyle Van Noy. What does he play? A linebacker. Inside linebacker, to be exact. In that 34 base defense. What did they need prior to that? Even before Van Noy was released. In my needs, top needs, they needed an inside linebacker. So that is telling me one of 2 things. They're looking for an inside linebacker. So they're looking to move back from 3 to pick up Micah Parsons. Right? Who I believe is a better Sam linebacker in the 4-3 base than he is in the 34 Mike position or a Jack position, whatever the case may be. I like them selecting Micah Parsons if they don't go after a guy like Fred Warner, but Fred Warner could be in play. GM Chris Greer is not afraid to pull the trigger. Brian Flores loves defensive guys. They have 2 multiple first-round picks. I'm just saying, they have the draft capital to do it and the salary cap health. And why the Niners are not re-signing Fred Warner right now? It's beyond me. It's beyond me. All right. So, Rachi from YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Says, heard some rumors possible trading for N'Keal Harry. Oh my gosh, I don't like Harry. I don't like N'Keal Harry. I never liked him coming out of the draft. Check my Twitter receipts on that. I have a full analysis on that. All you have to do is just search N'Keal Harry, tie him to my username, and you will see what I have to say about him. All right. Michael Miller from YouTube says Daniel Brunskill just signed his 1-year tender and he can play right tackle. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. 49ers Ultimate Report says my friend work out a lot and he's telling me the same. He eats a lot and drinks a lot of water. Yeah. If you work out, man, you got to eat and you got to drink. Not tequila, water. Like not drinking water, obviously. H2O, get your BCAAs in, get your branched chain amino acids in, get the proper foods in your system. You can't just go out and eat whatever you want after your workout because that compromises your gain. So what's the point of working out in the first place? And then you're spinning your wheels trying to make up for it the next day. It's a domino effect of issues. Enjoy the foods, but obviously be in moderation. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I feel like going to High Five Pizza and getting a huge pizza. I feel like going to my favorite taqueria and getting some tacos because it's Taco Tuesdays. Or I feel like eating chicken wings because, college football is on this Saturday. It's game day. It's a rest day. No, that's not how it works. No, 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 no. You can have that as long as you burn enough calories the days prior, or if your metabolism obviously is fast acting. I mean, all of us are genetically made up differently. So do with that as you will. All right, let's move on. NFL fan since 1995 from Twitter says, is there a way to improve the backfield more? Yes, draft my draft crush, Najee Harris. Boom, you're done. The 49ers have not had a 1,000-yard back since Frank Gore left in 2014. All right. Since 2010, there have been 18 running backs drafted in the first round. 11 of them were Pro Bowl players. That's a 61% success rate on hitting on Pro Bowl talent in the first round when it comes to the running back position. So why not go after a running back in the first round? History would tell us 61% of the time you're going to get a Pro Bowl player. I like Najee Harris. He's the top player on most people's boards. I know Travis Etienne ran a 4.41, 40-yard dash at his Clemson Pro Day. I had him clocked in at 4.43 on game film. He ran a 4.41. That's blazing speed. But at the end of the day, Najee Harris is the better prospect, period. Now, again, it comes down to scheme fit. Travis Etienne, in my opinion, is not a power-based running back. He is more of a ZBS tailored to like a 49ers offense or Arizona Cardinals, right? Someone who can run the zone blocking scheme. But Najee Harris is not scheme dependent. He can play a power run or he can play in a zone blocking scheme. I like Najee Harris. He's also a better player coming out of the flat as a dual threat running back. So that's my take there. All right. Rashi from YouTube says, if the Niners were to trade Fred Warner away, who do you see as a possible replacement for him in the draft or free agents? Nobody. Yeah, I hate to say it, there's nobody out there. There is absolutely no one out there that can duplicate Fred Warner's production, just like there's no one that can duplicate DeForest Buckner's production. John Lynch needs to learn his lesson, just pay up. Put his money where his mouth is and pay up. Pay my man Fred Warner. Pay him. Or someone else will. And it's funny how people say, oh, well, no one wants to pay him Aaron Donald money. No one wants to pay Buckner. Well, yeah, well, there's 5 or 6 teams that wanted to do it. So don't say nobody when there's 5 or 6 teams. I'm just saying. All right. Ravi, thank you for tuning from YouTube. Welcome to BEASTwriter Family. He says, bro, I think the 49ers are really just keeping him. And I'm am I sad? Don't be sad. Don't be sad at all. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Gavin Upright Cartwright says, Have you DM'd Eric Davis on Twitter about having him as a guest on your show? I have not. I thought about doing it. I haven't done it yet. I know Eric Davis. I talked to him a few times, when he was with the 49ers and, of course, NFL Network. I'd see him on game days. We'd chit-chat a little bit here and there. I have not, though, to answer your question. I will reach out to him. I think he'd be a good guy to hop on the podcast, and I'm sure he'd be willing to do it. But haven't got around to it. I do have a few other guests that are coming up, though. You guys are going to love these guys. I'm going to keep that under wraps, and it'll be a surprise once we go ahead and do that. But the lineup is looking strong. Stay tuned for that. Really excited for that. All right. Robbie Navarrete says, bro, I really think I got you. Okay. Let's move on. And we will see what you guys have to say. Again, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do that. You can do that here. and we'll get the ball rolling as you talk all things NFL. All right, Frederick Fernandez, thank you for tuning in from Facebook. Be sure to do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to promote this all day long because, again, that's how we do it. Otherwise, you guys are not going to know. Again, we do fun giveaways. We're releasing the Family Fan Friday giveaway today. This one lucky winner will be given this today. Like I said earlier, I already selected the winner for this one. However, not to worry, we have more giveaways coming up. So that's how we roll in the BEASTwriter family. That's how I like doing it. It's not going to stop. It's only going to grow. And it's all about giving back to all of you. Because again, when you're here, your family, that's how we roll. All right, let's go ahead and move on. How come they haven't made a move on Fred? I don't know. I did a podcast on that. I don't know how many guys, how many podcasts have I talked about Fred Warner? Seems like every single one. Every single day I have something to say. I just did one on yesterday how he could potentially be traded to the Miami Dolphins or the New York Jets and why they make sense for both those teams. Talked about the draft capital, talked about the financial strain, the salary cap health, how that would affect all parties involved moving forward as it pertains to free agency and the upcoming draft and in years ahead. So you talk about the instant gratification versus long-term gains. I broke that down in there. If you have yet to check out that podcast, go ahead and check that out. Just type in BEASTwriter Fred Warner or something like that in the YouTube search engine, and you will go ahead and that should populate. I mean, how many BEASTwriters are there? Really, dude? All right. Oh, this is so funny. All right. Gavin says, have the Cowboys just paid Dak too much considering the injury? Nah, you know what? I have to really say this about Jerry Jones, right? I think Jerry Jones did the right thing. That gruesome injury to Dak Prescott on the franchise tag was horrible. We all know the backstory there. For him to be rewarded like he was, that just, I mean, my hat's off to Jerry Jones for going ahead and pulling the trigger. I don't think so. I think Dak deserved every penny. Every penny. All right, Jonathan K28. Will the 49ers restructure Jimmy to create additional cap space? Well, the bigger question for that, thank you, Jonathan from YouTube. Always love talking to you, my man. To answer your question, simply put, why would Jimmy want to restructure his contract? That's the bigger question. It's not will he, it's does he want to? Why should he? I don't know. I wouldn't. All right, Robert from Facebook says, it cracks me up on that. Everyone keeps talking about Sam Darnold. Like, how good is he? He's a beast, blah, blah, blah. He's such a beast. Why are the Jets? I say if it's Jimmy or Jimmy, stick with Balzo. Balzo would Jimmy. Robert, thank you for tuning in. I'm one of those bozos who likes Sam Darnold. We could agree or disagree on this. I like Sam Darnold. I don't like him over Jimmy G necessarily. I think Jimmy G is obviously the better quarterback. However, I did make an exact trade scenario, and I put that up on earlier podcasts. You can include that in the description. I'm going ahead and put that out there. So if you just Google search Darnold BEASTwriter, that will pop up for you guys, and you guys can see my analysis and insights in real time on what I had to say about that. That podcast was put up, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that, but it's still going strong, maybe a month ago. But it was a while back. I like Sam Darnold. I like his critical factors. I think for me, it comes down to his supporting cast or lack thereof. Now, the guy sees ghosts. That's not good. Anytime you see ghosts, that's not good. I'm being serious. I'm not talking about paranormal ghosts. I'm talking about ghosts in general on the field. Like his time clock in his head is off. And that means that mentally he's messed up. Like there's something like not working here because like has no offensive line. So obviously in his head, he's like, man, usually quarterbacks have 2.5 seconds to get the ball released. I only have 1 second. So if I don't make the first 2 progressions, I'm not going to go through the third because this offensive line is garbage and I can either run or take a sack or throw the ball out of bounds. That's what he's dealing with New York. I'm just saying, man. Sam Darnold, I like him. I know a lot of people are on the fence about Sam Darnold, but I really like Sam Darnold. And again, time's going to tell who's right. You know, time will tell who's right. So that's my assessment there. But thank you for tuning in, Robert. I appreciate you. I know you're at work right now. I can't believe you're listening. There's a lot of people that listen to me at work. And wouldn't it be funny if your boss was actually listening to me at work at the same time and then caught on to it? Be like, oh, you listen to BEASTwriter too? Oh, we'll just put it on the freaking screen. Here we go. And just have a whole on meal about it, whole on chat about it while you guys are eating your lunch break. All right. Jason Ellsworth, who is one quarterback that is a hidden gem in the draft that the 49ers could steal on day 2 or day 3? Great question. I like Asante Samuel. I mean, I'm a big fan of Asante Samuel. I really like what he brings to the table. I see a lot of his dad in him. And again, he has great ball skills. We will have to see how it plays out, but I really like Asante Samuel. I like that kid a lot. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Jonathan K from YouTube says, "Who is your ideal Jimmy G backup? Tyrod would be my man. I don't like Tyrod Taylor, buddy. I'm not a big fan of Tyrod Taylor at all. Backup to Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Fitzpatrick for me. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe because I just like the name Ryan, because that's a cool name, Ryan, right? I'm joking, obviously, but no, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know why. He's a winner. He gets the job done. He did well with Miami, tutoring Tua Tagovailoa. He's a good stop bridge gap quarterback. I can see Ryan Fitzpatrick in San Francisco. If all else fails, he'd be a great locker room guy. I think when you're looking for a locker room presence, being from Harvard, obviously we saw what happened with Kyle Juszczyk. He was a great locker room guy coming from Harvard. So Harvard guys are very bright for a reason. I don't know. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. What are your thoughts on Ryan Fitzpatrick? Or Fitzmagic? Or what people call Fitztragic? The play on the words is legit. Like people call me Sakamoto. Like Ryan Sakamoto. Because I suck, apparently. Only the haters call me that, but it's okay. I like it. I think it's funny. All right. Gavin Upright Cartwright from YouTube said, thoughts on doing a phone-in section like Rombo and Grant. I could do that, and yes, you guys have been asking me on how to do that. I don't know how to do that. If you guys know how to do that phone session, let me know. Tell me how to do it, and shoot, we could do that tonight. I don't care. We could start a weekly show on that. I don't care. How do we do that? Do you guys know how to do that? Obviously, you guys know how because you guys are the ones calling in. Tell your boy, tell BEASTwriter how to do it, and we'll get going on that. You guys excited? BEASTwriter family coming in hot. Hello, hello. All right, Dylan Duncan, too many good backs sharing the touches. Wilson, Coleman, and Mostert. Yep. You have a running back by committee approach there. Very true, Jonathan. All right, Jonathan K, 28. I love talking to Jonathan. He has these great comments. Do you think anyone knows what the Niners are going to do? Rappaport, as in Ian Rappaport, and Peter King are both contradicting each other. Well, I don't know what's being said. If you can tell me exactly what's being said, I can then analyze and give you the information that I'm getting, and then we can kind of connect the dots and see how that one's playing out. I don't know what's going on over there. What are they saying? All right, Arthur Long from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. I don't think I ever spoken to you before, so welcome to the BEASTwriter family. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Forgotten point. Rosen spent 3/4 of the season training under Mr. Work Ethic Tom Brady. Got to count for something. Yeah. I'm not a Josh Rosen fan. Bro. But thank you for your question, or your analysis, I should say. All right. Gavin says, from YouTube, BEASTwriter family, can we get a few hints on who you have planned as guests on the show? There's no hints going to be given out. I want to do it and keep it under wraps. And the reason I do this is because the wow factor is going to be there. Once I have them on the show, you're going to be like, whoa. Are you being serious? I'm joking. I'm hyping it up. Or am I? You don't know. No, in all seriousness, I want to keep it under wraps. I will release it at the appropriate time, but as of right now, we're working out the schedule as to when they should be hopping on the show, and we're figuring out the time slots. I know I have some fans or some family members, BEASTwriter family members, that want to hop on the show as well. So I want to give those guys love. Obviously, the guys that are coming on to the show, the bigger names, you guys all know who these guys are, but I want to give the other guys some love too. So stay tuned for that. It's all about raising the BEASTwriter family community here on YouTube. That's what we're going to be doing. All right, Jonathan K28. I know you like Najee Harris, but I'd rather have Puka Williams in the 5th or 6th. I love Najee Harris, bro. I love Najee Harris. Give me Najee Harris all day, any day of the week. I will roll with Harris all day long. All right. Niners All Day 55. How you doing? Niners All Day from YouTube. BEASTwriter family. All right. Should we pick up Juju? He'd be a good locker room guy and doesn't look like he's returning to the Steelers. Him and Kill would be so fun Ha ha ha. You're saying ha 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 at the end because you know what's going to happen. Juju Smith could be dancing on the logo. He brings a similar swagger to Emmanuel Sanders, and I love that. I love that. But do you honestly think Juju Smith and Javon Kinlaw would welcome being on the same team? If you guys don't know the backstory on that, well, there's two. One, Javon Kinlaw came at me on Twitter, called me his biggest inspiration, then deleted the tweet. I don't know why he did that because I called him a Pro Bowl player. Maybe he read something wrong, but yeah, that was interesting. And then there's an Instagram post with Juju, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, and Javon Kinlaw where they were going back and forth. And I guess Javon Kinlaw said something to Juju. Juju fired back at Javon, and there was some Instagram or Twitter beef or something there. You can just Google it. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was some beef there. So I don't think that'd be a good fit. I don't think Javon Kinlaw would welcome Juju in San Francisco, but it would be fun to watch. Hey, I get a front row seat for that. All right. Jamie Powell, what direction do you think the Niners are going in the draft? Quarterback or cornerback? Quarterback or cornerback? Because I think they're going to go in free agency and pick someone up in free agency. Now, it all depends on what they're going to do with Trent Williams. If they let him walk, they obviously have more money to go out and get some of these other guys. But again, it all starts with Fred Warner. He should be the number one priority. He needs to be re-signed first before anything else. If you don't, you risk losing him. And does he want to be franchise tag? Absolutely not. He doesn't want to be franchise tag. He wants a long-term deal. Why would you franchise tag a player just to prolong him playing on a 3-year contract when you know you could be extending him, giving him a front-loaded money today? I'm just saying. I'm keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100. So getting back to your question in the draft, I see them going quarterback or cornerback, trading down for a cornerback because I think Patrick Surtain, if he falls at 12, they're going to take him right away, run up to the booth, turn in the card. But if he's off the board and they believe they can trade back a few spots, maybe ahead of the Tennessee Titans and get a guy like J.C. Horn while picking up draft capital in return, I think they pull the trigger there. They can also go and get Landon Dickerson too in a trade down. So ultimately, again, it just depends on what's there. I mean, if they don't believe that, quarterback Mac Jones is going to be the answer, obviously the best move to do is trade down, pick up draft capital, and then see what's available at the best player on the board at the time you're picking. All right. Ravi from YouTube. If they traded Warner, I would lose faith in Shanahan Lynch. Yeah, there you go. Hey, there's a lot of my family members, when I say family members, talk about the BEASTwriter Family, obviously, on YouTube who echo your same analysis. I mean, Fred Warner's dad follows me on YouTube. He's probably BEASTwriter Family as well. Listen, you don't trade Fred Warner. And why John Lynch hasn't came out and publicly said it means that there might be internal discussions. Go on KBR and say, hey, look, we're not trading Fred Warner, George Kittle, or freaking Nick Bosa. That's it. Everyone else, we can trade, but not those guys. They're untouchable. So let's stop with the rumors. It's not going to happen. Why hasn't he done that? Why hasn't he gone on the flagship station like KBR 680 and said, hey, look, how you doing, John? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Yeah, we just have a few questions here as it pertains to quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, and then we get that out of the way. Oh, hey, and there's some rumors that, Fred Warner, we heard from BEASTwriter, that he might be on the chopping block or the trading block. Is that true? If you're John LeBeck, oh, no, absolutely false. No, that's not happening. In fact, I will say this right now. Fred Warner, George Kittle, Nick Bosa are untouchable. We're not going to trade them in anything. So if you hear that, it's false. Why hasn't he said that? I don't know. It'll be interesting. All right, Derek Robinson said Fred Warner for number 2 pick. Your thoughts? Oh, so thank you, Derek, for tuning in on Facebook. Be sure to join the BEASTwriter family by subscribing to my YouTube channel. But thank you so much. I appreciate your question. He says and wants my thoughts on Fred Warner being traded straight up for the number 2 overall pick, which is currently owned by the New York Jets. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it for a number of different reasons. Everyone knows that, I'm tied to Fred Warner, whatever, dude. Okay, cool story. I wouldn't do it because, again, the toxic locker room dynamic it would create would be so big and possibly unrepairable. You trade away DeForest Buckner. You trade away middle linebacker Fred Warner. They're just not Pro Bowl players, okay? Or even border. They're all pros, best at their position. On the defensive side of the football, where defense wins championships. Kyle Shanahan is an offensive guy. Hate to say it, he is. Look at what the contracts that were made. Look at who they retained. Look who they let go. With that being said, no, I would not make it straight up. For the number 2 overall pick for Fred Warner, I would not do it. Mark that down. It's not coming from me. I would not make this trade simply because, again, the toxic locker room dynamic it would create would be horrible. You lose the heart and soul of the defense. You already lost your leader of the defense with Robert Saleh moving on to the New York Jets. So I wouldn't make this deal. I would rather extend Fred Warner because the message that you're sending if you don't do that is, hey man, I made an all-pro team. Oh, great. You're going to get shipped out next year, bro. Oh, you play defense? Oh, you're definitely getting shipped out. George Kittle got extended, but we lost Fred Warner and DeForest Buckner in back-to-back years. It's like being on the Madden cover. Like, I'm serious. And they get injured the next year, right? Oh, man, you made the Madden cover? Oh, man, you're going to get hurt. Oh, dude, you're going to have a down. Oh, that's just a curse. The Madden curse. You guys don't know about the Madden curse? Go look it up. It's a real thing. All right. Same thing. Oh, you made an all-pro team with the night. Oh, my gosh. Congratulations, but you're going to get traded. What kind of message does that send? No, do not do that. All right. Gavin Upright from YouTube says, could Jed York tell the difference between poop and... Oh, my gosh. Oh, the questions. All right. Rick Costa Jr. from Facebook. Restructuring the quarterback is what Brady has done. Yes. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move on. Wow, we have a lot of questions as I am doing this. Mariah Lee, I listen at work as well. All you guys are listening on this. It's legit. Thank you. Huge fan of Antonio Phillips out of Ball State. RM chiming in from YouTube. Thank you for your question. It might be the steal of the draft at cornerback. All right. Fortnite's Ultimate Report. Ryan, I think you and I are the only 2 guys that like Sam Darnold. There's a little bit more, even internally from people that I spoke with within the Fortnite organization. They like Sam Darnold. However, we don't know how this is going to play out, right? We don't know exactly what is being discussed. We don't know what's happening behind closed doors. All I can tell you is when they look at Deshaun Watson, could Fred Warner not be extended yet because he could be trade bait for a Deshaun Watson deal? I'm just saying. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Nick Lang from Facebook says Quinn Miners. I like Quinn Miners. Thank you very much. The Division 3 prospects. If you guys don't know who Quinn Miners is, turn on the Senior Bowl weekend tape. He shined, and he really elevated his draft stock. All right. Alan Owens. Keep smiling. Thank you so much. I always love smiling. It's what keeps me young. All right. Thank you for tuning in, Alan. I appreciate it from YouTube. Welcome to the BEASTwriter family. All right. Jonathan says, I love Taylor's ability to run the ball. He has a cannon, and he can make the ball, and he can make the short and intermediate throws Kyle loves. Fitzmagic is legit, but will cost more. Yeah, he will cost a lot more. That's for sure. All right. Alan Owens from YouTube. BEASTwriter family coming through hot. All right. Question. What is Lynch afraid of? What's his weakness? Where does he fall down as a GM? Well, I already wrote up a podcast on that. I'm going to go ahead and just put it on the banner for you guys. Again, this is how you do it. This is how I'm going to formulate it. So you guys are like, I can't find your podcast. Well, you'll find this one easily because no one put this out here. Here. I love these little things here. Let's see. And here we go. All right. So just Google search John Lynch hot seat BEASTwriter, and that article will come up, or that podcast will come up on YouTube. So just put that into YouTube. That will populate. You will know my thoughts and analysis there. Basically, he doesn't do well at signing defensive front seven players. I think he's the worst out of all the NFC West GMs. I broke it down brick by brick of each transaction. I furthermore compounded that by how the Buckner trade will affect GM John Lynch being on the hot seat. Has a domino effect there. I call it the Buckner effect in the podcast. Feel free to piggyback on that analysis if you want to or care to. Go ahead. And then peeling back another layer of the onion to really get to the core. He doesn't do well at drafting at the top of the draft, especially when it comes to his first two picks. In 2017, he obviously struck out with Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster. 2018, there's discussions now about right tackle Mike McGlinchey being shipped out of San Francisco. 2019, he did well. I gave him an A grade. But then 2020, reach for need, diminishing the value pick at 14 was Javon Kinlaw when they should have just took Tristan Wirfs. And what are they looking for? An offensive tackle. Oh, here we go. And why'd they make that move? Oh, because they needed to recoup draft capital because they mortgaged their future by trading away for a 1 year, half-year rental player, Emmanuel Sanders, giving up a third-round pick in return. I'm just saying. So if you want to see that podcast, it's a good one. Got a lot of good feedback on it because I keep it 100. Again, I break it down brick by brick. All right, let's go ahead and move on and answer more of your questions as we talk 49ers football or Panthers football or Steelers football. It don't really matter. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. SF Gold Rush from Utah says, Ryan, what are the chances you think we are actually trying to wait and go after Watson? That's a great question, man. I mean, for those who follow my podcast, I put out before he said he was intrigued that he was intrigued. It's what I was hearing, but as it pertains to Deshaun Watson, man, jeez. Nick Caserio does not want to pull the trigger. That's what it comes down to. Plain and simple. Nick Caserio is playing this game where he doesn't want to let go of Deshaun Watson. He has this ray of hope that Deshaun Watson's going to change his mind. With Coley there as the head coach. Doesn't it shock anyone that Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach? Like, Eric Bieniemy should definitely be the head coach of the Houston Texans. I mean, really? I don't know. What are your thoughts there? Whoever gets Eric Bieniemy is getting one hell of a coach. All right, Jason Ellsworth, sign Alex Smith again and draft a quarterback and or cut trade Jimmy G. Alex had a big part in Mahomes' development in how to prepare and be a professional. Hey, good point. Jason Ellsworth, part of the BEASTwriter family on YouTube, says his analysis believes that Alex Smith should be the backup. I would love Alex Smith in San Francisco. What a way to end your career the way it started in San Francisco. That would be a San Francisco treat, wouldn't it? I think so. I think it'd be a great play. All right, let's move on. Jonathan K28 says, Rap City saying that the 49ers have no interest in Darnold and Jimmy is going nowhere and they never reached out to Teddy. King saying that they would King saying that they want Darnold as Jimmy's backup next year. Well, again, these guys have different sources, so different leaks are coming out, right? I'm hearing that they like Sam Darnold. So take that for what it's worth. I mean, Peter King, he let me tell you something about Peter King is really well. Both of these guys are always respected. Like, I'm not going to doubt, like, one is better than the other because I'm not going to go there. They're very well respected in the positions they are in because obviously they're the best in the business, right? Or top in their industry. So with that being said, I'm not going to go and delve into that. What I will say is both these guys could be right. Both those sources could be saying the same exact thing or hearing exactly what they're putting out. They wouldn't be putting out fake stuff. I mean, one is saying one thing, the other is saying another. Ultimately, it comes down which source is saying what. Who is their source? Who is their source? And ultimately, how many of their sources actually check out? I don't know. Check their Twitter receipts. I guess we'll know in due time, right? All right. Joe Exotic. I like it. Is mayonnaise an instrument? What? Is mayonnaise an instrument? Oh my gosh. Okay. What's your rugby knowledge like? What do you think about Wales being a greatest rugby team in the world? Gavin Upright. I don't have any rugby knowledge. I don't know anything about rugby. Although when I was at San Diego State, that you see behind me right here, one of my guys and one of my roommates played rugby on the San Diego State team, and he would always come home beat up, like beat up, like looked like he got in a fight, like jumped. Like rugby is no joke. I would say that rugby is more of a contact sport than football. I know it sounds crazy, but correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't rugby more of a contact sport than football because there's no pads? I don't know. I think rugby is crazy. Well, maybe we should ask Jared Hayne. All right. Robert from Facebook says, when does everyone get to find out you picked me for the that will be released on a later podcast tonight after my gym workout. I'm going to do a podcast episode on that. And I'm thinking about going live stream with it. I'm not so sure. I may just put up a video. I don't know. What are your thoughts there? I think putting up a live stream would be a little bit more engaging. And then that way we can do a lot of more fun things there. All right. All right. Jonathan from YouTube. Would you rather keep Travis Benjamin or give John Ross the minimum? I'd rather go with John Ross and give him the minimum if I had to choose between the two, because he adds another dimension to the 49ers offense. He can also add return game ability. He's very versatile in that way. And what did he run? Like a 4.3 40? I mean, or didn't he set the record for the 40-yard dash or something like that? Crazy like that. So I really like John Ross coming out. I thought he was a player. Ultimately, you can't coach speed, and he has it. All right, Jason Ellsworth. Do you think a backloaded deal for Warner would be the best? No, I don't think so, Jason. Listen, Fred Warner would not accept a backloaded deal. And this is the reason why I broke this down on earlier podcasts during the season. For those who don't know, I'm the one that broke the news that Fred Warner was due a front-loaded contract in the middle of the year on November 3rd. And then Richard Sherman echoed my analysis thereafter. All right, but get this. No. Why? Because, again, Bobby Wagner was the standard as in terms of APY, annual per year. He was getting $18 million per year. I said last year, as in 2019, not 2020, that Fred Warner was the best middle linebacker in the game based on my grading system. And he was. For the last 2 years, Fred Warner was getting paid less than $1 million because he was on a rookie deal as a third-round pick. You know how much Bobby Wagner was getting paid? $18 million. So if you're outperforming the highest paid middle linebacker and not even getting paid $1 million of what the other guy is getting, which is $18 million, he's getting paid 17 times more than what you're getting paid. That's not right, bro. So he's already due $34 million in a front-loaded deal on top of everything. That's when negotiations start. $34 million. Now that's the baseline. Now we're going to talk about what I want in my front-loaded money because you're already owed me that, bro. So no, Fred Warner is not going to accept a backloaded deal, and he shouldn't. This is not Eric Armstead we're talking about. This is not a one-year wonder. We are talking about a all-pro player, not a complimentary role player, but an all-pro player. Plain and simple. He's not throwing shit at Eric Armstead. He's going to have one hell of a year once Nick Bosa is back because why? He's Dana Stubblefield 2.0 in my opinion. And if he puts up 10, 12, 15 sacks, leads the league in sacks like Dana Stubblefield did before leaving San Francisco and then racking up 1.5 the following year in Washington, playing next to damn Big Daddy Wilkinson, then so be it. But who made that engine go? Is Bryant Young. Who made the engine go for Eric Armstead? It was Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner. Plain and simple. So getting back to Fred Warner, he's doing a front-loaded deal, and they need to pay him right away. Right away. All right. Arthur Long from YouTube said, what's the difference in the top 3 defensive backs and which is the best fit for the Niners? Ooh. I said Patrick Surtain is the most fundamentally sound cornerback coming out of the draft since Ahmed Plummer did it back in 2000 out of The Ohio State University. He was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, number 24 overall. You then take a look at what Patrick Surtain brings to the table, and I see great fundamentals. He stays square at the line of scrimmage, doesn't take false steps, right? He gets proper hand placement up, so he's really good with his hands. One thing I really like about his game is he knows how to leverage and use a sideline as an extra defender. He squeezes that wide receiver to the sideline based on his leverage and his technique, based on how the safety's behind him and where his help is and playing his splits. So he does a nice job there. Man, Patrick Surtain to me is the most NFL ready quarterback. NFL ready cornerback right away. Now he's number one. Number two is J.C. Horn, not Caleb Farley. I know Daniel Jeremiah has him ranked number 5 on his big board. Not mine. J.C. Horn is that guy. I like his swagger. I like what he brings to the table. I think he has better ball skills. I think he makes better plays on the ball. I really like his ability to high point the ball at the catch point. I think that's very important. He also is very aggressive at the line of scrimmage. He's not afraid to mix it up and run support. Not saying Caleb Farley's not good or he can't do these things. I just think J.C. Horn for the system when it comes to the Niners. You're talking about my top 3 defensive backs for the Niners. I think that J.C. Horn is a better fit than Caleb Farley is for what the Niners do in that cover 3 scheme. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Oh, my goodness. We have a lot of questions. I am like way behind. All right, Jason Ellsworth from YouTube says, "Warren is worth more than one first round pick, as well as a locker room would change." Yes, exactly. Exactly. You're exactly right. All right. Is there a potential left tackle coming up in the draft that could replace Trent Williams that's a good fit for the 49ers? I mean, maybe Penei Sewell, but outside Penei Sewell, absolutely not. Nobody. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Except Penei Sewell. All right. Let's just go on and answer any questions you guys have, and we'll go ahead and get this going. All right. So we have a next question coming up from Scott Knorr from Facebook. Scott, thank you for tuning in. Do yourself a favor and join the BEASTwriter family by subscribing to my YouTube channel that you see. Well, I'm going to change the banner because you can't see it now. Right here. Just open up a new web browser, type in youtube.com/BEASTwriter, and you can subscribe to my channel. But let's get back to your question. What do you think of Mariota for a backup? No, I'm not high on Mariota. I know Hawaii guy, Aloha, but St. Louis guy. I don't know. I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of Mariota. I think you could find someone else in the draft. Now watch them sign Mariota. You were wrong, bro. They got Mariota. Okay. What's up, my man JP, Arizona Cardinals fan? I always love JP. This is my dude right here. Really has great insight when it comes to NFL football. He says, what do you think about Newsome, cornerback from Northwestern? I haven't done much research on that cornerback yet. I am going to do, it's actually on my list. I will get back on that. So stay tuned for that one. But I would like to know your thoughts. I value your input, man. What are your thoughts there? All right. Let's go see and say what else we have to say here. All right, here's another one. Rick Costa Jr., excuse me, from Facebook says, "Do you think Marcus Mariota would be a good fit for us? If so, what deals should be made?" I mean, like I said earlier, I don't think Mariota would be the perfect or ideal fit in San Francisco. I would rather them go after someone else in the draft. Now, whether that's in the 3rd round, 4th round, or 5th, 6th round, I don't know. Let's just hope it's not another Jake Driscoll. All right. Tim Cassidy asked a good question from YouTube. Thank you, and welcome to the BEASTwriter family, Tim. He says, who are your top 5 Niners of all time? Well, this is a good subject because you guys all know how I feel about Deion Sanders. That's my favorite 49er of all time. Even though he played only 1 year, he got us 5 Super Bowls. He got us to that 5th Super Bowl ring. In that 1 year he was in San Francisco. He ended that quest for 5. All right, but getting back to my top 5 Niners of all time, obviously Deion Sanders is one. Again, this is not based on who the best player is, based on longevity with the team. This is my personal top 5 Niners of all time. So I would say Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice. See, I always get stuck on this one. Steve Young, Joe Montana, and Ronnie Lott. Those are my top 5. So again, it's Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana, and Ronnie Lott. That's my 5. Who are your top five? That's what I want to know. It's hard to go against Joe Montana, right? Because he has 4 rings. And growing up as a 49er fan, being around the 49ers players, obviously some of the 49ers players watched me when I was little, and the quarterback was obviously Joe Montana. So met Joe when I was younger too, and I thought that was the most amazing thing. Also met Steve Young too, obviously when I was younger. But I mean, how can you argue 4 Super Bowl rings, going 4-0? Who do you guys like? That's what my followers, my family members, BEASTwriter fam, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, whatever you guys are at, Twitter, chime in. Who do you like more, Joe Montana or Steve Young? Who is the better quarterback? I think I know where I'm going with this, but I want to know your opinion. Because if you base it on simply Super Bowls, it's obviously Joe Montana. All right, Jonathan K20. If they don't trade him at the draft, the Farmers are in great. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and discuss this. Gavin Upright Cartwright says, tell us some stories you have of working with the Niners. Any funny stories? I mean, there's a few funny stories. One I said yesterday was when Navarro Bowman, I was wearing a cutoff just like this. I was going out to practice, and I don't know if he had his pre-workout in. I don't know what's going on. He literally, the first thing he does is we're walking out in the NFL media. We have our phones out, getting ready to be on social media and stuff, right? And so we're looking at our stuff and shooting videos, and all I hear is just like boom, 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 and then he just like picks me up and like lifts me up and like bear hugs me. It's all on Twitter. I put this out on Twitter, and then he drops me. Well, not drops me. Like he doesn't drop me or throw me, but like obviously puts me down. And I turn around and I did not know what the hell was going on. I was like, dude, what the heck just happened? Like I just felt like I got hit by a truck. It was Navarro Bowman, and I look at him like, dude. He's like, what, bro? He's like, dude, you're hella big. I had to hit you because you're big, bro. Like, I know you can take it. Unlike these other guys, like, I know you can take it. I'm like, looking at him like, bro, you scared the crap out of me. I tell you what, till this day, that scared me. I believe my phone was like flying in the air. There's actually a video of my, because like you just see the phone just going here, and all of a sudden it's on the ground. Yeah, it was really crazy, but it was good times. Like, obviously, one of the most funniest moments was Navarro Bowman when he bear hugged me and said, "I can do that because you're big and you can take it." And I was like, I don't think I can take it, bro. Like that was a legit hit. Um, but no, it was all fun and games. Like he didn't hurt me or anything. I'm exaggerating, but no, that was pretty cool. There's also been another few funny stories or cool stories. I mean, Jim O'Neill, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers at the time, have a great relationship with him. Gave me a shout out on my birthday before starting his press conference. Chip Kelly said I answered great questions. Jim Harbaugh liked me. Had a lot of talks off the record with Jim Harbaugh. One of the things I will say is like something that he took with Michigan is, when he was going through all that trouble, I told him about a quote, and then he's like, "What quote is that?" And we're sitting there in the locker room, and I said, "There's a quote that says, 'Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about why you're worried about what I'm doing.'" Essentially being like, "Hey, bro, like you're worried about me for a reason. That's your problem." And he turns around and says, "I'm going to take that with me." And ultimately, he did. He took it with him in Michigan. So there's a lot of different stories I can go. Worked with Frank Gore. I did a lot of off work stuff with him, as well as Vernon Davis. I helped open Fantex, helped raise the bar with that. Shoe Palace with Frank Gore. Did a lot of community service with these players outside of the Foreigners organization. So a lot of cool stuff, man. A lot of cool stories. Did a lot of stuff with my BEASTwriter family. I would hold these events at High Five Pizza, also Lily Mae's House of Soul Food. We would have events there. We had the players come out, just talk to the fan base. It's really cool stuff. Obviously, I'm paying for it, but it was all good. I mean, hey, it's all for you guys, right? It's all for you guys. That's what I'm about. All right. All right. Alan Owens. Casario is in a lose-lose situation. He is. He is. All right. Fortnite's Ultimate Report says, I know you say you like Warner. I don't just like Warner. I love Warner. But would you ever trade Watson for Warner? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't. I don't know. I just wouldn't. And I know that sounds crazy because Deshaun Watson's a top 5 franchise quarterback. Actually, I would even argue he's top 3. I would say he's a top 3 quarterback. But even straight up, I wouldn't make that deal. I just think that would just create a huge wildfire within that locker room. And you don't trade Fred Warner. He's the best player at the position. And trading away 2 all pros, like I said, it could be the Madden curse thing going on, right? Hey, bro, you made it all pro and you play defense. You're going to shipped out, bro. John Lynch is going to ship your old butt out for draft capital. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. If you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them my way. I am going to be hitting the gym pretty soon. As you guys know, I get my workout gains and got to make sure that my gains are strong because the gym at Villa Sport here in San Jose closes quite early. It's not like 24-hour fitness where they open 24 hours. This gym closes at like 8. Or today it's Friday, right? I think it's 7:30 today. So I got to head out in a little bit. I'll be posting my workout videos there. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream from the gym because I think that's kind of like crazy because you guys can't hear what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm using a microphone here. So if I try to explain what I'm trying to do in the workout so you guys can replicate that, it'd be kind of hard because there'll be people around. There'll be plates banging around. You guys can't hear what I'm saying. The audio would be off. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just post a workout video and then have like a tutorial in the description box below. And then if you guys have questions, you guys can ask me there. And then I'll hop on a live stream. And then I can answer your questions in the live stream based on the questions that you ask on the podcast. See how this is formatted? I'm thinking here, guys. I'm thinking. I got you guys covered. All right. Woo. Thoughts on Brunskill tendered and Ronald Blair released? Yeah, Ronald Blair released. Hey, he's going to the Seahawks. How's that? Or the Jets. How's that? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. If you guys have questions, go ahead and shoot them my way. Oh, look. We have Javon Kinlaw's cousin says, my cousin Javon Kinlaw going to show out. Watch. Thank you for tuning in, Javon Kinlaw's cousin. I believe he will show out. And if you watch my earlier podcast, you know I say he has Pro Bowl potential and he's going to get 8 to 10 sacks next year. So I agree with you, man. I agree with you 110%. He also says, what do you think of Javon Kinlaw? Well, I just said, man, he has Pro Bowl potential. I say he's going to get 8 to 10 sacks next year. So I'm really looking for. I'm his biggest inspiration. You know this. That's why you're on this live stream right now. So I'm just going to tell you straight up. Yes, I'm pulling for Javon Kinlaw. I think he's going to be a good player. He has Pro Bowl potential. I just need to see a little bit more pass rush. I think having Nick Bosa there helps. And I think Javon Kinlaw, your cousin, is going to play lights out. He's going to have 8 to 10 sacks because, again, he has that Pro Bowl potential. So I look forward as his biggest inspiration for him to show up. I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. So thank you for tuning in, Shakir. Really appreciate you tuning into the live stream. Cheers. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. It's always interesting when family members tune in. Obviously, you guys know a lot of the family members, players, as well as the players themselves tune in and have nothing but great things to say and support for the BEASTwriter family. We all know how this goes in my live stream. You guys can connect the dots. You guys know who's in this thing and who's watching it. All right, Niners All Day from YouTube says, what do you think about Kyle Pitts? I love Kyle Pitts. This is Alex Faulkner's guy. That's my man. He chimes in here. He was in here on the stream earlier. Alex Faulkner loves Kyle Pitts. I also love Kyle Pitts. I think he's going to be a game changer, especially for any offensive coordinator. He's going to be a defensive nightmare. That's what he is. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Jason Ellsworth from YouTube says, what do you think of Daniel Jeremiah's thoughts on Trey Lance's pro day saying he is a Josh Allen? Josh Allen, Trey Lance, really off his pro day? Oh, no, I'm joking. Daniel Jeremiah is there for a reason. I respect Daniel Jeremiah. He's pretty spot on, but I don't see it. But hey, move the sticks says it. I'm not going to disagree with him. Or yes, I can. I disagree with him. I don't think he's the next Josh Allen. I like his ceiling. I like Trey Lance's potential. It's freaking awesome, man. I mean, the guy has the potential to be great, but let's pull back a little bit on the Josh Allen comparison. All right, let's go ahead and do that. All right. Whew. All right. So I'm asking for your guys' top five. Jerry Yang says Ronnie Lott, Patrick Willis, Dwight Clark, Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith. Oh my goodness. All right. So there's Michael Millers. He says Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, and Primetime. See, how can you go against Primetime Deion Sanders? I tell you what, the Deion Sanders signing till this day was the biggest free agent splash the 49ers have made since 1994. If you can name a player that had a bigger impact, who was also a household name, who had that significant of an impact in that one season, I'm all ears. Because Deion Sanders was, if you remember, was the 1994 Defensive Player of the Year. I believe he had, 6 interceptions that year, and the ball was rarely thrown his way. How many pick sixes did he have? 2, 3? I mean, the guy was nuts. The guy was awesome. Everyone's talking about Bryant Young. We all love Bryant Young. Man, Bryant Young would be dope, right? If he came on the show. Right? Bryant Young came on the show, be dope, right? That'd be fun. Okay. Let's go ahead and just talk about some of the things you guys want to discuss. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them my way. I'm more than happy to go ahead and explore those options with you. But yeah, getting back to right tackle Mike McGlinchey, again, he's in trade discussions or trade rumored with the Indianapolis Colts. GM Chris Ballard obviously was at his pro day watching Quentin Nelson and Mike McGlinchey. Also, based on my notes, I have to go back, but my notes don't lie. Offensive line coach at the time for the Colts was Dave DeGuglielmo. He was the one leading positional drills. So if he was there, they had the whole, basically the contingent there watching these two players. Don't be surprised if Chris Ballard pulls the trigger, giving up the number 21 overall pick for right tackle Mike McGlinchey, who would then, in my opinion, can either play right tackle, but you have Braden Smith there, so there's a logjam there, or they move him to the left side because obviously Anthony Costanzo retiring, that leaves a gaping hole there. But the way I see it and him coming out, I thought he was better suited to play the right side as opposed to a blind side. That's something that will ultimately have to be worked out. But in the end, Mike McGlinchey could be in Indianapolis. If not him, Trent Williams, like I said in an earlier podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them my way. I'm just scrolling through the comments right here so you guys can see what other people had to say. We have Jerry Yang. I said Jerry Rice. Jerry Yang says he had something to say. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that are going on with the San Francisco 49ers and the NFL in general. We have free agency coming up on Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Robert Trey says Montana had better weapons. When you need 10 yards, Young would die if he had to do it, but he'd run and get it. Yep, that's true. That is very true. All right. So we have another question here from Gavin. Gosh, he just wants to put me on the spot. He says, who are your top 5 Niner players from the past 10 years? Oh my gosh, do I have to go back that far? Okay. I can't give you an order, obviously, because I have to think back 10 years. So 10 years would be what? 2011? Is it 2011 or 2010? Like, it really matters, right? So I guess we're dating back to the Harbaugh days, right? 2011. Jim Harbaugh's first year. I think we're going back 2011. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. If it's 2011, let's go 2000. Okay. So definitely Frank Gore. I mean, Frank Gore's up there. Patrick Willis is definitely up there. Frank Gore, Patrick Willis. That's tough. Gosh. Fred Warner. I'm going to put Fred Warner in there. Geez, the last 10 years, I'm thinking now. They have very many good wide receivers, I can tell you that. Although I do love Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel nowadays. I do love those two guys. George Kittle, obviously. George Kittle, you have to put him in conversation. And I'm a defensive guy. I had to pick a defensive guy. DeForest Buckner. So that's it. DeForest Buckner, obviously Fred Warner, DeForest Buckner, George Kittle, and then who else did I say? Whoever I said, I am drawing a blank. But yeah, those guys. Frank Gore and Patrick Willis.
I could say Navarro Bowman, but I'd rather have Warner than Bowman. I don't know. I like Warner better than Bowman. Although Bowman's pretty dope too. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Everyone likes this question. Who are your top 5? Everyone loves these questions, man. Ben Allen says, I used to work at Villa Sport. You did? Bro, used to work at from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody at Villa Sport follows my YouTube live stream. They're probably watching it as we speak. Where did you work in? Did you work with Alex in aquatics, or did you work with Emmanuel or Manny in the spa treatment center, or did you work in the fitness industry with who is there now? Ryan Ferguson, or Anthony McBride in sales? I know everyone. Like what department? I'm gonna go to the gym in about, I don't know, 30 minutes, and I'll let them know. Hey, you guys know Ben Allen? Yeah, he used to work here, dude. Like, oh dang, dude, I didn't even know he followed me on my live stream. That's dope. Yeah, I saw that. Every time I go to the gym, they want to ask more questions. It's funny. Manny will always be talking to me from upstairs and be like, "Hey, dude, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to get my workout right now." Nah, but Manny's awesome. I love Manny. If you don't go to Villa Sport, do yourself a favor. I'm there like every day, so I'm not that hard to find. But yeah, it's cool. All right, any news on KB? No new news on KB. Uh, all right, D-Loke 187 from YouTube says, would you trade Bosa to the Jets for the number 2? No, absolutely not. I'm not trading Bosa, bro. I'm telling you, Bosa's going to rack up 15, 20 sacks. Okay, I'm a little bit crazy right here. I'm not obviously not 20 sacks, but I'm saying at least 15 sacks. 12, 15 sacks. Bosa's going to be in line for Defensive Player of the Year honors in 2021. Mark my words. He's also going to make Eric Armstead look better, Javon Kinlaw look better, simply because Edge Nick Bosa is Edge Nick Bosa by default. Bosa is the real deal. I'm telling you guys, everybody who wants to trade Nick Bosa, you guys save your receipts, return to these, and say Beastwriter said Nick Bosa is going to have one heck of a year, and he's going to rack up 10, anywhere from 12 to 15 sacks. Not 10, 12 to 15 sacks, if not more. I'm telling you, and Javon Kinlaw, he's going to rack up sacks too. He's going to be eaten too. Eric Armstead, he's going to be eaten too. Everybody's going to have a freaking buffet when Nick Bosa is in the lineup, period. Let's call it the Nick Bosa Buffet Foundation. All right, D-Loke, when you say who smokes weed on the Niners back? D-Loke, I know it's funny because I think you guys know the story, but anyways, I'm not gonna name drop people. I'm not like that, bro. But you guys can connect the dots. I'm not gonna touch the whole thing with the weed thing. That's funny that you mentioned this. I feel like you know something that I don't. All right, Robert Watson says, "Up, what's going on, Robert? How you doing, my man? Thank you for tuning in." Mac Morris 83 said, "Just got here. Why'd they cut Ronald Blair? Sorry if I missed the answer already." Well, simply because he's been injured, man. I think they wanted to go in a different direction. Obviously, they want to get younger with a new defensive coordinator in place. D'Amico Ryans, I think he wants new blood. And ultimately, Ronald Blair will either go to one of two places: the New York Jets or the Seattle Seahawks. Write those down. Now watch him go to the Detroit Lions. All right, let's move on. Is it true Alden Smith smoked weed in the 90s? Why is everyone... You guys are trying to get me lost. Nah, I ain't touching this one. I am not. You guys already know. You guys are trying to be... I see what you guys are doing here. It's not... Hey, let's move on. All right, for his ultimate report, Bryant Young and Patrick Willis are my favorite players. Awesome. That is awesome. All right. Edison Stewart from Facebook. Justin Smith Cowboy was a great signing. Yes, he was. Justin Smith was a great signing and one of them all-time great players. I still like Deion Sanders better. All right. Corey Brown from YouTube. Welcome to the Beastwriter family. He asked, do you think we will keep Juice or let him go? I want them to keep Juice. Everyone knows I'm tied to Juice, just like I'm tied to Fred Warner. Called him my dark horse Super Bowl MVP candidate on ESPN radio and was this close to winning it if they would have won and he would have scored. He was that close. Oh my gosh. You see him get up, he was like this. I was like, but anyways, I don't think they're going to resign him. I just don't think so. All right. Look at the comments from the top 5 all-time 49ers favorites by yours. Mac Morris says Justin Smith. Okay, and we got someone throwing shade. Dante Pettis is my favorite 49er of all time. D-Loke, you're funny. What if he really is your? I mean, hey, that's cool. But okay, Justin Smith is a good one. Yeah, Justin Smith. Who? All right. Arthur Long. Who are some third day gems that the Niners could take? Great question. I am going to break this down on a later live stream. I got that worked up for you guys. Trust me on this. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a good one. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We have a few other things before we go ahead and get started on what's going on here. Jerry Yang, Deshaun Goldson was good too. Yeah, Deshaun Goldson was a beast. He was a beast. All right. Let's go ahead and discuss this. Brandon Green. Oh, we have Michael Hurst. Don't want to miss him. He says Ronnie Lott, but Reggie White never played for the Niners, bro. Oh, but I think you're talking about your top 5 free agent signings or top 5. This is the top 5 49ers. Reggie White never played for the Niners ever. Ronnie Lott did. Deion Sanders did. He didn't like the name Deion Sanders, I think. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Reggie White did play for the Niners. I don't know. I thought he never played for the Niners. But I could be wrong. All right. Ben Allen says, I was in the foods department. They probably don't remember me. I was there early on for a short time when the place first opened. Great gym, though. Oh, hey, you were in charge of the cafeteria area, huh? Like outside where like you make those vegan burgers or the vegetarian. What do you call it? No, I'm such a fatty. I get the burger. What's it called? The Impossible Burger. Is that what they call it? The Impossible Burger. That thing's huge. Anyways, I get 2 of those. Those things are good. Anyways, is that where you worked at? Because if you did, that's awesome. I hope you got free Impossible Burgers. Yeah, it is a great gym. It's a state of the art facility. Really like that gym. It's expensive though. I'm not gonna lie. You're looking at $150 a month membership there. All right, John Zach from YouTube says, "Are we stuck with Jimmy G again this year with Pat signing camp?" Yes, it looks like that's the play. Or is it? I wouldn't count Jimmy G just yet. All right. Gavin Upright Car. Nick Bosa will pay 50% of his games over his career. Prove me wrong. Oof. Nick Bosa, if you're seeing this, prove my man Gavin wrong. I love Gavin. Gavin on YouTube, part of the BEASTwriter family. I respect your analysis, bro. And you bring up a great point, right? If he hasn't been durable throughout his career, what makes you think he'll be durable in the future? Time will tell. Time will tell. Okay. Robert Watson, my man from YouTube, part of the BEASTwriter family, says Bosa will be the best edge rusher of all time, just like Fred Warner will have all Hall of Fame numbers. Yes. Robert Watson, great analysis. I agree with you 110%. I think Bosa is a generational talent. Anytime you can get a top 5 edge rusher in the NFL, you retain that guy. If Nick Bosa goes on and gets traded to another team, he's going to have the same success, if not more. Going to want to prove the Niners, hey, you did me dirty, bro. I'm going to prove you wrong. I think Nick Bosa is as close to untouchable as Fred Warner or George Kittle. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Lunar Mystic, Nick Bosa, the best player on the team. I hate it when Grant talks about trading him. He sounds like a secret Hawks fan. Grant says whatever you want. I mean, Grant, you guys know Grant. Great insight, great analysis. And if he has an opinion on that, that's his opinion, right? So I'm not going to hate on the opinion. I mean, we just have differing opinions on it, but that's not to say his is wrong or mine is right. It's just different. It's just different. So, yeah. So John Zach from YouTube says, "Are we stuck with Jimmy again this year with Pat signing camp?" I wouldn't say just yet. I wouldn't say just yet. All right. I already touched base on this. Thank you, Edson Stewart from Facebook. But I think ultimately Kerry Hyder Jr. is not going to be retained. I think he's going to go to the Jets or another team, maybe the Lions, someone who has more money because he's going to test free agency. I mean, he had one heck of a year. He really did. All right. Would you bring Alden Smith back, or are the 49ers just not interested in that drama? Nah, I mean, yeah, he can come back. I'm not saying he can't come back. I mean, he returned in the NFL. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick's not there, so there's not going to be any drama, in my opinion. I would love to see Alden Smith back in the San Francisco 49ers uniform. Okay. What do you think the NFL why do you think the NFL isn't approving cannabis use for use as a CTE treatment? I don't know, man. That's a question that you have to ask the NFL. That's a great question. I don't know. I can't really answer that. I'm going to plead the fifth. All right, Ben Allen. Yep, I was on the grill. See, I knew it, bro. I knew you were on the grill. What do you think about the Impossible Burger? I think it's delicious. Man, every time during the summer I get 2 of them. Dude, I love the food there. I love the food there. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Brandon Green said you did any answer my Vernon Davis question. What's your Vernon Davis question, man? Please chime in. Let me know. Robert Watson says Deion Sanders #1, Jerry Rice. Ooh, see? I like Deion Sanders too, bro. The high stepping, you know, he always got that swag going on. The bandana was his prime time or number 21. Got the gloves on, but then they're not strapped on. Always had the long sleeve on with the armbands. He was ready to go. Deion Sanders had swag, bro. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Are we going to keep D4? That depends on his injury. All right, John Zach says, love the Japanese style tattoo. But thank you so much. So this is a Japanese style tattoo. I am all different, multi-Asian, I guess you would say. I'm Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, a little bit of Native American in me. But yeah, getting back to it. Look, check this out. So you got this. I don't know if you guys can see it because people are like, what does your tattoos mean? All right, so this is I guess you can see, this is my foo dog. In Japan, it's called a foo dog. Obviously, there's a Chinese version, but this is the Japanese version. You have the cherry blossoms. You have the, I don't know if you guys can see it. That's the Hanya mask. So basically, it's a Hanya mask. It goes from happy to sad. You just turn it slowly like this. All right, and then right here, I have my Phi Kappa Psi fraternity at San Diego State University with the Japanese lantern on the outside. And on the back, it says Sakamoto. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I got this done by State of Grace by Taki and Colin Baker over in Japantown, San Jose. That's where I grew up. Go ahead over to Japantown in San Jose. Tell them BEASTwriter sent you, and they will set you up on an appointment. But it's going to take a while because they're like booked out like 3, 4, 5 years. That's how good they are. But no, Taki, if you look up Vice, if you anybody who knows Vice on Inc., Takahiro Kitamura, look him up, YouTube it. He's there. And there's a reason for that. He's the best in the game, period. All right. And it's on me forever. So if I want something on me forever, I want the best. And Colin and Taki, State of Grace, head over there. Colin did my work, but Taki owns the shop. All right. What's up with Jalen Hurd? I don't know what's going on with Jalen Hurd, bro. I don't know. My man, 704 Bounce Charlotte, Carolina Panthers fan. Thank you for tuning in, my man. Hit them like buttons. Yeah, hit them like buttons. Subscribe to my channel in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, click the link in my bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel and join the BEASTwriter family. Or do yourselves a favor if you're watching on Facebook. You see that ticker here? Yeah, open that up on the new browser and get yourself a YouTube account and follow your boy BEASTwriter so you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time, like this live stream. How you like that? Boom. All right. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? This is my second live stream, and it's going really well. I mean, I am behind on the questions here, actually. Ugh. All right. Brandon Green from YouTube says, how would prime Vernon Davis do in Shanahan's scheme? Oh, excellent. Vernon Davis in Kyle Shanahan's scheme would be awesome. I like Vernon Davis. And that's not just because I have a personal relationship with Vernon Davis, but I like Vernon Davis. For those who don't know, he had a few things going on outside of football, right? He had a few companies going on. He had that Fantex thing going on with Buck French, who I helped build up there, and the engagement over there. I also helped him with the Jamba Juice. over at the Rivermark Plaza, which doesn't exist anymore. There's no more Vernon Davis Jamba Juice. So if you guys remember that, it's no longer there. But yeah, and then he also had his art gallery. Remember that art gallery in Santana Row? We helped out that Yelp page. I'm just saying, man, Vernon Davis is a nice guy. I think he would do well in Shanahan's offense. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right. Ben Allen says Impossible Burgers and hot dogs were amazing. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. It's legit, dude. The hot dog. I have never tried your hot dogs yet, but aren't they the all beef Nathan's hot dogs? Like the ones in the eating contest that like Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi eat during the 4th of July weekend or whatever it is. The hot dog. Oh man, I never had one of those yet there at Villa Sport, but I did have the Impossible Burger. They are delicious. All right. I don't know the answer to your question. What do you mean? Like how he is? What do you mean playing a character? I don't understand that question, bro. Grant is pretty much Grant. All right. Fortnite's Ultimate Report. What is your favorite workout you do in the gym? My favorite workout is using my mouth and talking. No, I'm joking. That's a great question. I have a lot of good workouts that I like to do. I love hitting abs. I mean, I'm known for my abs. That's why I have my Lipocyte Extreme Carnogen Fat Converter Stack on Evogen Nutrition. They call it the EvoB Stack. Basically, if you watched on YouTube or Evogen, you will find this on Instagram, all these other social media platforms. But there's a whole on video that I did at Fortnite Fit in regards to that. But no, getting back to my favorite workout, I mean, that's a tough one. I love hitting shoulders. I love hitting my traps. Love hitting my arms. I love hitting legs. I think squats are the best thing for you to build up your overall core strength. Mike McGlinchey, let's hit up some squats, bro. No, I'm joking. But no, that's probably my main staples. Bench press is always fun. I always love hitting bench press. You guys see my workout videos there where I was knocking out, 22, 23 reps of 225. So fun times, man. I'm telling you, I love all those workouts. I just love working out in general. I think anytime you can do bicep curls, like what's today? Today is Friday, and I hit back and bicep. Oh no, I'm hitting biceps today, so I'm gonna be doing a bicep workout today for all of you guys. I'm gonna teach you the different ways of hitting biceps. Obviously, everybody is different, so what may work for me may not work for you. But I'm gonna give everyone a variation of some bicep workout because at the end of the day, that's why you follow me. You don't follow me for football. You follow me for fitness, and football and fitness. That's what I do. And that's how I built up my brand. And that's how the BEASTwriter family is growing. I mean, people just follow me not just for the Niners now. They follow me for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're a Steelers fan, or a Carolina Panthers fan in this case, or an Arizona Cardinals fan, right? So it's just kind of like, that's how it is. That's kind of came to be. All right. All right. Sean Lewis from Utah says, Beast, a couple years back, Levi's did a preseason practice free event with free food and all. At that, any chance that comes back? Ooh, Sean Lewis, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your question. Welcome to the BEASTwriter family. Answering your question from YouTube. I mean, that's more of a COVID question, man. It's like it all depends on the city and the county and the state. I don't know. We're gonna have to take a wait and see approach, bro. I hope it comes back though, because that's fun times. All right. Tony Nakatani, my man from YouTube, part of the BEASTwriter family, also follows me on Twitter. Where do you think Cordero Patterson will land? Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, Las Vegas Raiders. No, I don't know. He's been on all those teams. I don't know where the heck this guy's going to land. Ultimately, he came out of the draft as a running back, right, out of Tennessee, and then he was used as a wide receiver, drafted in the first round, and then didn't work out there. So then they used him as a versatile return man and was an all-pro player there. So, dude, what if he came to San Francisco as a return man? You get an all-pro, versatile kick returner. I don't know. I would like it. What do you have to lose? And he'd be on the cheap. All right. All right. So it looks like that'll be it. And we are pretty much all done with this, right? So I don't know what's going on here. Oh, we have one more question. Sorry. Actually, we have a few more. Oh my gosh, we have more. Okay, I tell you what, guys. I need to stop because I need to get to my live stream. Not need to get my live stream. I need to end this live stream so I can get to the gym. And I'll be posting possibly a live stream there. But John Zach, who you like signing at quarterback opposite Mosley? I like Akilla Witherspoon. I really like Akilla Witherspoon. I think they should give him a second chance. Now people will be like, oh my gosh, BEASTwriter loves Akilla Witherspoon. I'm not saying I love Akilla Witherspoon. I say I like his critical factors. I think he deserves a second chance. Don't get it twisted, guys. All right. Jason Ellsworth from Utah says, why don't you become a strength and conditioning coach for the Niners? They could use someone that will help them stay healthy and strong. Maybe there wouldn't be so many injuries. Yeah, that's the running joke around the 49ers players and their coaches. If you guys know, I'm good friends with Uwe, the former strength and conditioning coach, Mark Uyama. He made that joke. The coaches after him made that joke. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like, that's just, if I was a strength and conditioning coach, I don't think they want me as their strength and conditioning coach because I'd be pushing them super hard. Not saying the coaches don't do that because I'm sure they do that. I just think my mentality would be like legit, like, iron sharpens iron, huh? Really? I'll be that guy like in draft day where he's like, oh yeah, hit that squat. Oh, he freaking bench presses 455 pounds. You guys remember that movie Draft Day? Oh, I love that movie. Anyways, I don't know. That was a running joke. People talk about it, but I do work with the players in the off season. I mean, you guys all know about that. So I don't know. I just like staying behind the scenes, low key, just doing my thing. Because it's not going to give me time for this. And I love doing this. This is better. This is a lot better. All right. Well, that'll be it for today. Thank you for tuning in for Family Fridays. I'm going to hop on a live stream later this evening to reveal the winner of the BEASTwriter Family Friday giveaway to this lucky winner. All right. And again, thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing to my channel. If you guys don't win this, not to worry. We have more prizes coming out, like this Jimmy G bobblehead, this 49ers backpack that's freaking heavy as heck. You hear that? All right. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Have a good night. BEASTwriter out. Peace.